The UK's council housing crisis is ever worsening, and this is a story that could be told through the cramped, run-down conditions people have to live in, the millions of council homes which have been sold off, or the terrible Grenfell Tower fire. We're going to tell the story of Camden's West Kentish town estate. In 1964, Labour politician Harold Wilson became Prime Minister, and in his first term 1.3 million new homes were built, with council housing rising to 50% of the total. One of the council estates built in that first year under Wilson was Camden's West Kentish town estate with 316 homes. But 56 years later, the flats are in a poor state of repair, even as a nearby building built with the same materials looks to be in good condition. Sharaf lives in one of the council homes and has hopes this might change.
Yeah, it's quite nice area, but they got a plan to demolish all the estates, especially West Kentish town.
Yeah.
And
how do you feel about it?
To be honest, I feel good.
Okay.
I'm not that rich enough to go buy another property. And
Camden Council wants to demolish and rebuild the whole estate, a move supported by a large majority of residents. But the plan to rebuild may already be doomed to fail. As the economy plummets, a study commissioned by Shelter says over 300,000 planned homes could be stalled over the next 5 years. The West Kentish home estate may well be one of them. But some believe that refurbishment, not rebuilding, is what is needed. Although 93% of residents agreed to rebuild the flats, they had no alternative to vote for.
There was no other option. They were told on the ballot paper, this is what was on the ballot paper, vote yes, and if you don't, there is nothing. We will do nothing to this estate.
But although residents are desperate for some improvement, rebuilding the whole estate worries those who enjoy its open spaces and beautiful hero trees. And this is far from the only climate concern. The collapse of our environment has caused an unprecedented heatwave in the UK and record-breaking wildfires on the west coast in the US. Rebuilding is environmentally costly, leaving some residents fighting for a greener option. Refurbish to bring desperately needed improvements without the high environmental cost. It would take 30 to 40 years for newly planted trees to provide the same environmental benefit. It's not just the environment people are worried about. Architects for social housing emphatically endorse refurbishment because it costs less and doesn't displace residents.
ASH's response to this is simple. Do not demolish structurally sound dwellings, but refurbish them. Demolition does not make financial sense for public bodies interested in housing rather than property prices.
Residents themselves have come up with suggestions for improvements, including better security and more storage space. But without the council exploring refurbishment or a clear idea of where funding would come from, the future of the estate is up in the air. Repairing and refurbishment is sorely needed for residents who need and deserve a better quality of life. But whether this can happen is a political choice. Locals will have to push back against the dominant dogma of austerity. There's a long road ahead for those who dare to dream of better, but with bold activism, this future may be ours.